Something's supposed to come after that. I don't know what. But good morning, TNT. I guess we're here. Ray's going to come along sooner or later. And we're going to get this party started. It is a Wednesday. It is raining. That don't mean we have to get wet. Okay. I'm going to wait till Ray can read the questions, of course. Let's go over anything we sent out. Ray, you going to make it?
Some audio problems.
You going to make it?
Talking to you.
Yep.
The whole while.
Well, I hear you now, so what's going on?
Well, we're going from one extreme to the other.
Okay.
First it was making noise, and now you couldn't hear that at all. So I don't know what's going on with that system. Okay, you got the intro out of the way. Everybody knows what day and time it is, right?
Nope. All they know
February
is
13th.
good morning, TNT.
Okay, February 13th. Let's get started. Updates. I did not send out any. Or did I?
All right.
I don't recall. Today is, let me go in here and look real quick just to make sure. I don't want to overlook something if we did an update Saturday, Sunday. No Tuesday updates. So we're good. Let's roll with it.
All right, guys. There's not a whole lot of updates, period, at all, because nobody's saying anything. I know I see a lot of people saying they're talking to their banks, and the banks are letting them know they're getting ready to do something, but everybody's still quiet. So I think and hoping that we're going to see something. Now, there is information out there. We're hearing that people are saying this is going all the way to the middle of March. So now, I haven't really gotten the answer for that. I know the banks are still sitting on it for now, or as I know. They have not one come back and say, hey, it's not getting ready to happen even this week. You know, there are some supposedly other people who are saying March. And they're a little upset about it, that they're going to prolong it that long. We did hear that the bank and the IMF are happy with the way it's going right now with the slow rollout of paying a few people every day. He didn't give us a number, but he did say the slow rollout or methodical way that they are doing it right now and paying people out. That was the exact words. So, but the banks are still geared up for this week for it to take off. So we're going to see which way it happens. But other than that, we don't have any holdups, and we're just here until it happens. I wish I had great news like 3 o'clock this afternoon or 4 o'clock on Friday, but I don't know that. I know they are prepared for that. We just don't know that. So the banks are excited. I mean, more and more people are hearing about it and know that they're getting ready for it. So that part we do like. Could it go? Well, it could go until it happens. So I don't even like talking about the middle of March, the 1st of March, or the 25th of February. But let's see what happens. All right, Ray, let's do it.
Okay, questions. AY Country. Will BB&T be one of the banks to do exchanges? They send all currency to home offices to verify. Yes and yes. We do know that they do that. And last I heard, BB&T exchanges Iraqi dinar. They did a year ago. They did 2 years ago. They did 3 years ago. So I don't see any reason why they would not this year or next year for that matter.
Now, BB&T is merging with another bank, though. So
yeah, they bought SunTrust.
Yeah. Okay.
It's making
SunTrust
them
didn't buy BB&T. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
All right. And we do know their policy or procedure is to send it to the home office and then call you back and let you know what the rate is after they send it to the home office and get it verified. That's been their procedure for the last 4 years, like they say. So we'll see what happens.
Fingers crossed, there's been a lot of talk about those of us who have Zim receiving a text or an email about setting up an appointment. My question is, I, like many, bought my Zim off of the internet through eBay, possibly from an individual. So how would they have my info to contact me since I did not purchase it from a bank or known currency dealer? Well, that's a question you shoot back to the person that told you were going to get a text or an email in the first place.
Well, that fact tells you that what they are saying is a lie, because it's a lie. And I'll tell you it's a lie. Nobody's going to contact you because nobody knows that you purchased Zim or how much you purchased or anything else. So you call the 800 number and make your appointment. And this is the problem with listening to some of these other gurus who just make shit up as they go, or say, hey, you better join my group or give me your name and all your information, or you're not going to get a text, or you're not going to get a call, because it's bull it. I said it. That's why. And your question itself tells you how much bull it is. So when you get on those other calls and they start telling you that, you know that's a call you should never get on again. Tell them to prove it. Ask them that same question in the middle of their call. How do they know you have Zim? And then ask them, what bank did they buy their Zim from that it was tracked? Because they're stupid like that. Okay? What's next?
Okay. All right. Members, if another member has access to chat, they have access to this Q&A. So don't be posting questions for them. If they're posting a question in chat, and if they want us to answer it, they can post it in the Q&A section and we'll address it. I don't want us to start creating an activity of now members want to post other members' questions and from chat in the Q&A. That can get a little out of hand, so let's not do that. Jim in KC says, Monday you addressed the exchange fee but not the spread fee. What will banks be paying us to buy back our currencies? Well, we did kind of address the spread fee, even though Tony might have said exchange. It was the spread saying it was going to be the same. If it's 25% today, it'll be 25% then. It's just going to be a difference in the rate, but their spread's not going to change because it won't change their profit structure.
Okay, they're probably right, though. I think I did talk about the exchange fee and not what
you
the
said
spread
exchange
is going
fee, but we did say the spread was going to be the same. You started off saying that, then you went into exchange fee stuff.
Right, because the spread is not a fee, guys. It's just a difference in the buy and sell. There's no fee in there. All you pay is the exchange fee. The spread is the spread, and it should be just what it is now. Okay.
Okay. Wealthy Woman 43 says, hi, Ray. This is your favorite deadbeat from the DMV. As if I didn't know. But anyway, the question is for Tony. Tony, you said that the banks had a 48-hour window. Are we still in that window?
How about we haven't even got to it yet? How about that part? I said there was a 48-hour window they're looking for, and it could be sometime during this week, but we haven't even got to the window yet. Okay.
Okay, Psychic Grandma. Ray, you and I talked about the 50 Dinar note and whether or not it was a loss or if they were going to go ahead and take it. Did you find out the skinny on all this, or are we just going to have to wait and just take it and hope they accept it? No, we haven't heard anything official regarding the 50 Dinar note. Scrap, right?
I said, why would they not take it?
Well, remember they discontinued it. No, we were talking about the old one that some people are still holding on to.
Oh.
So,
no, anyway. But, it'll only be $100. Who cares, right? No. We'll find out.
Okay.
Yeah, who's next?
Papito, I think I said that correctly, 3891424. Would you recommend the inclusion of an annuity into a trust? I'm not sure what angle you're looking at, but as far as a trust acquiring annuities for the trustees, yes. But you can look more into that with the annuitant salesperson on how you can arrange that. Okay, let's see. Susanna C. says, has the projected RV rate for the old ZIM 2008-2009 changed from your last confirmed rate of 2 cents?
Okay. There's 2 cents was never the rate for the ZIM. It has never been an RV rate of 2 cents. I said if they use the current rate, there is a current rate for the ZIM. There's a rate on Forex. There's a rate on the currency sites that you look at. That rate would equate to 2 cents, which would equate to $2 million for the 100 trillion notes. I never said the rate was 2 cents. Okay, as far as an RV rate.
Okay. T. Tavern says, good day to you both. Can you speak on the woman who they speak highly of to get the interior position?
I know nothing about her. She was in Monday's article. We're reading it. They're saying that's who they think is going to go. I know nothing about her at all. But Google her name and see what comes up.
Okay, Jesse91 says, just wondering what happened to the update that I said Iraq TV was reporting that the budget will be printed in the Gazette and will be enforced immediately upon its printing. So she says, how do they get out of exchanging after they printed it? Will be enforced.
Well, because it's Iraq and because the budget came out at the old rate, not the new rate, they can say it's being implemented right this moment. So they didn't get out of anything. It just didn't change the rate in the budget like they thought or we thought they would. So they are in full compliance right now and spending as far as they're concerned at the old rate. The real question is, where are they getting all this money to do all these things they say they're going to do? Now, they're actually saying that they're not going to start doing them until the 1st of March, when they should get the money from all these other countries to start coming in. What we know is there's supposed to be a new rate before they get that money. And that's what we are concentrating on now. When does that happen? All right.
Susanna C. says, has the projected rate for the dong changed from your last confirmed $1.37? And are they still live on the back screens?
We got no information on the banks or the rates. I hadn't even tried to since we got that. So, we tried to get some information from the bank, but they're unusually quiet. Unusually quiet. Okay. Next.
Okay. Bunky says, I would like to know if it is possible to turn our exchange into gold and silver right then. So if the dollar goes down, and it will protect our exchange. Will one be able to do it at the time of the exchange?
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty like 80, 85, 90, 99% sure you will not be able to do that during your exchange. They're going to do the exchanges and get you moving on, and you reschedule with your wealth manager or your personal banker to have anything else done that you need completed. They're not going to be doing those type of transactions in exchanges where they got people sitting out in the hallway or down there waiting in line to complete their exchange. Okay. All right. Who's next?
All right. Angels WME. Angels WME. Will there be security in parking lots when we go to exchange?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. NHIMIAM says, can you kind of quickly go through an exchange of three currencies, Dinar, Dong, and Zim, if we're seeking to get the contract? Okay. But would you place them in separate accounts?
We were always told to place the dinar in a separate account, guys, just in case it was taxable, because the other things wouldn't be. So if you want to put them in three different accounts, I'm sure it's an option you'll have if you have three different accounts open that they can get into. Okay. These are great questions, and you should be sure when you call it, well, the 800 number, ask the question, but I doubt if even he's going to be able to tell you how much time you have, what they can get done. But it's a plan if that's what you want to do. I'm not putting all mine in three different accounts. I am putting it in two different accounts, but not three different accounts. All right, Ray?
All right, let's talk to some live individuals. First one is 951 area code.
Good afternoon. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
Hey, good morning. How you doing, man?
Hey, Tony, question for you. What is your CBI over there? What's the guy saying right now?
The guy's saying right now, as of this morning, that they are planning on doing this in the middle of March, is what he said this morning, that they changed. Now, I sent that information to the committee guy, and the committee guy says nobody else knows anything about that. Some gurus are saying that. But the IMF right now is happy with this slow rollout thing that they're doing. The banks aren't happy with it, but the IMF is happy with it because globally what's going on. So we're going to wait and see.
So really you have three different opinions there. Okay. All right. That sounds good. Hey, talk to me about the February 17th tax and tariffs. You know, they're going to have that uniform tax and tariff charge, both import and export fees. In order to do that, doesn't Iraq or the CBI have to come out and say that they're international before they actually go ahead and do the tax and tariffs? They can't do that at program rate. What's your opinion on that?
My opinion is they have to, and we have to see this before that happens. Not only that, if they're going to do those tax and tariffs at the rate they say, nobody over there can afford to do it at the program rate. So
right.
It doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Do you think – okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm saying, so all of this March, slow rollout, everything else doesn't make sense if they're going to apply the taxes and tariffs.
No, I agree with you 100% right, and we'll have to wait and see here in the next couple of days, 2-3 days, if the CBI does come out and flip the switch. Can you see them with the tax and tariffs? Doesn't the United States get like 50% of that once everything is done and said?
50% of the taxes and tariffs?
Yes.
I don't know how it's divided up.
Okay.
I don't know who gets what share. No.
Okay. Because they were saying that the taxes and tariffs equal like the oil revenues. It's huge. It's a huge amount of money. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. That's why I'm still excited, because I'm going to see what they do with this by the 17th. So we'll have to wait and see. The middle of March, you had mentioned that your CBI guy. Is that 2 cents rate that you're talking about on the Forex, Is that the 2008-2009 AA notes?
No, that's the current rate for Zimbabwe notes that they have in Zimbabwe that they're doing with the dollar, that the banks have said, we don't even have any of these in the U.S. So why we have a rate, why are we going based on that rate? But it is the rate. And so we're talking with our committee member. Again, he said if you use the current rate, and I did the math, it comes out to $2 million per note for those notes. That is not the RV rate, though. The minimum we were given for the RV was 11 cents.
Okay, that makes sense. And on your crystal ball there, 1 to 10 being you're super excited. Can you give me something on the scale of what you're looking at? Because this tax and tariffs thing is the one that I think is proof in the pudding there. But what would you between 1 and 10? What would you think? What's your gut feeling?
My gut feeling is they're trying to muddy the waters really, really dirty, so nobody knows anything and losing it. But some things are just too obvious. So I am looking for this weekend. I am looking for
this weekend
before the 17th. That's what I'm looking for. Because common sense tells me it has to be done, unless they're going to do something that's uncommon.
Which is typical, which could be not out of the norm. But, no, you're absolutely right. The 17th is the target date that I'm looking at. And I'm excited because if they do go through with this, and it'll be great. So, anyway, that's kind of where it's at. Thank you very much for the information, guys. You have a good day, and I'll let the next caller come in, and hopefully we'll hit that 17th, and they'll flip it. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate the information.
All righty.
All right. Now, the one thing we have to be aware of is they will change dates on us in a 2-minute notice. Okay? So they could definitely change that date from the 17th, but that was their target date. So let's go with it. Okay.
805. You're on.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, guys.
Morning.
Question for you, Ray. I have 5 siblings and children that I want to create an entity for, but I feel it would be best to take the amount of money that I have and invest it in the IMF platforms and let them get the interest for that. What would be the best way to do that? Is there a super trust and then 5 individual trusts that I could set up? I know that I probably should do this, I know I'm going to do this with an expert, but just for my own thinking, getting prepared, do you understand the question, first of all?
Are these grown children?
These are grown children, yes. 40.
Oh, well, definitely a trust for each one. Let them have their own individual entity and then invest it the way that they see fit.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is in order to have that bulk amount, a large amount to be able to get the best interest out of the IMF platforms, see what I'm saying? Instead of going after...
Yes, let me go through this. You don't want to give them money up front. You want to take $50 million, invest it in the IMF platform, and the interest that comes off of that $50 million, you then want it divided by 5 and given to those 5 siblings.
Correct.
Okay.
That's the question. It just makes sense to me if I'm going to give out $100 million that I get them, maybe in interest $100 million a year.
It makes sense. So he's asking what's the best way to do that? Yeah, it makes sense.
That's the question.
Don't give them the money. Give them the money's money. Just come it out.
Exactly.
And you always have the base to work with. That's a great idea.
Yeah. So that's the question. I know that, I'm going to be going to experts anyway, but I just kind of in my mind wanted to know what to say to the experts. And I figure, Ray, you're the expert. on everything. You know what I'm saying, Ray?
Okay. All right. Well, you already had it figured out. You're going to invest the money first and then divide it amongst the 5 entities that you create for them.
Yeah.
And let the 5 entities receive the interest each month. If that's what you want, for them to get it monthly.
And so is there a tax implication there? That's kind of the question.
There probably might be. No, there's going to, well, there's an IMF if it's tax-free. So that money is going to be tax-free. And if you are the grantor of the trust, we've been told by some and debated by others that you could grant amounts into the trust tax-free, or it might be taxable. Either way, it's not going to be that big of a deal. If it is taxable, you will have taught your children ways on how to minimize that tax.
Right.
If it is taxable. Right. If it isn't taxable, then easy peasy anyway. So that would be the route that I would take.
All right. I appreciate
that.
But
that's still going to be better than making them owners. So I would still create the entities, and you just be the grantor, and each month you're granting the interest from that IMF investment into each trust. If that's what you want to do.
That was my thought. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. 951 said that was a good thing, that the tariffs and taxes, which I understand and I agree with them. Other than that, thanks you guys for all your help. Have a great day and God bless.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir.
801. You are on.
Greg, good morning, good afternoon, gentlemen.
Greetings. Good afternoon.
Thanks for taking my call. Condolences for you both, by the way, on your lost ones.
Thank you.
I've also been put in that position where I've had to join a club that no other parent wants to join. So I reach out to you guys with open hearts there for sure. So anyway.
Well, you too. I'm sorry you had to join that club.
Yeah.
I understand. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So I want to tie up a few loose ends, if I may. I know you talked briefly about the spread, about the buy and sell rate. And Chase right now, there's a 17%. Wells is almost 20% difference. And of course, we talked about 25% out there. But the question is, we keep talking about the rate. Let's say the Dinar's $4 rate. So what we're going to see in reality is $3.20. Is that right? If we just take 20% spread?
If you take 20% spread, that's what you would see, yes.
Yeah, because we're asking the bank to actually buy it from us, and so that we're only going to see the $3.20 if that was the $4 rate that comes out. Okay. So I just want to kind of make sure that I was on the right track there. Then the other question I have, groups we keep talking about, there's an 11% tax, and because they're actually selling their currency, not exchanging. So whether to China or someone or whoever. So if we go in for the contract rate, are we actually selling it to someone who'll be using it for something in the future for them and their needs, or are we actually exchanging with the contract rate where we're going to be hit with an 11% tax?
Okay, we're not signing a contract, and we haven't for the contract rate. We're at the bank exchanging it with the bank, just like a normal exchange. The bank is just giving us a higher rate. So, again, we're not selling it to the bank. We're exchanging it with the bank. They are selling it to another country. That country is paying them. The U.S. Treasury isn't paying them. The bank isn't paying them. That country is paying them. That's the difference. That's why they have paymasters. They get it into an account, and then they divide it up among the people. So they are being paid through a transaction. We are getting our currency through an exchange.
Okay, perfect. So we won't see the 11% tax that they will.
No, we should not. Now, if it's not taxable, which they're saying it's not. So
right.
Definitely not what they're doing, because that was part of their contract.
Okay. Perfect. Then I won't worry about the question if it's set up correctly in a trust from Ray. So,
Okay.
And, guys, gentlemen, I appreciate tremendously. I've done network marketing for years, so I understand conference calls and the amount of emotional energy to deal with this, especially 3 times a week. So my love goes out to you guys. Lots of respect. And shout out to my brother John, who's driving back and forth from Utah to Ohio twice a week. He's listening. So I don't give him information. I make him listen. So there you go, Ray. All right, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, and hopefully we have a great weekend.
Okay. Take
All
care.
right, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
205 area code. You're on. Well, wait a minute.
Hey, guys. Your friend
There
from
you are.
Alabama. How y'all doing?
He's
Good. How are you?
fabulous earth to the nth degree.
I like hearing that. Listen, I was the question that the gentleman earlier had about the trust. I had another question. It actually created a question. Let's just say I did what the gentleman was saying, but my daughter has never had no money, so I don't want to give her a large percentage in the beginning until I see how she's going to handle it. If it's in a trust, would I be able to go back and make an amendment to give her a larger percentage than what I start her off with, or would I have to create a whole nother trust?
Well, if you're the grantor, you can control how much money goes into that trust, because it will go at your will and pleasure.
As you go.
Say that again?
You can make changes as it progresses. Like I was thinking about giving her 5%, of a certain money that I would invest. Then say 2 years, if she's handling it correctly, I can, as grantor, can go in and up that percentage for her.
Sure you can. You're the grantor, putting money there.
Okay. I just wasn't sure if once you lock something in, because the word irrevocable, I'm not really, I've told you before, I'm learning this trust stuff, so I wasn't sure if once you set something in, you could actually go in and change it.
You're not changing it. You're regulating how much money flows into it.
I see.
That's what you asked, if you could regulate the flow. I said, you're the grantor. Yes, you can.
Okay.
You're not going to go in and change the trust or anything that you put in the trust. You're just going to regulate how much money flows into it to keep her from spending too much of it too fast.
Okay, let me ask a question. Hold on for a second, because I want to make sure. It's doing the IMF platform, and he puts in $50 million, and the platform pays out $5 million in interest. He wants the $5 million to go into the trust, but he only wants her to get $500,000 a year. The first.
Then that's all he's going to put in that trust is $500,000.
Okay, so that's where the disconnect is at.
It's not a disconnect.
Put it.
I told him he could control how much money goes in it.
I know, but he wants to put it all in there and wants to know how much can he control what she takes out.
Oh.
Is what he's asking.
Well, that's not what he said. I didn't pick it up that way. Well, if you're going to dump it all in there, then you dump it all in there and then just hope and pray. But if you're not on the board to help control it, then hope and pray that you'll do the right thing.
Well, what I was hoping is like you're saying, have like sort of like a master trust, and then individual little trusts inside the master trust or whatever you would call it, and then once a year I would give her so much money to live on per year, and every year I would, maybe give her more money than I gave her last year.
All right. You would achieve that as an individual, not as a master trust.
Okay.
So you have an IMF project pumping $5 million in interest to you, but you want her to have it, but you don't want her to waste it all, then you have to hold back what you don't want to go in there. And if you only want $500,000 to go in, you put that in, You sit on the other $4.5 million until you're ready to relinquish it.
I see. Okay. All right.
But you can't use another trust to do that, because now you're going to have complications with one trust dumping money to another trust. Whether it's once a year or every year, that's where your problem is going to come in, justifying how that can be moved. But when it's yours, you can do whatever you want.
I see. Okay. There'd be a conflict of interest. I understand. All righty.
Something like that.
All I can say is we just keep buying more dong until this thing pops. What you think, Tony?
Just keep buying dong till this thing pops. $1 million a week is not a bad return on $50. Huh?
That's what I'm trying to do. Sometimes $2 million a week.
There you go. That's the thing to do. Until this thing pops, I'll just say more money, more money, more money.
That's right. Well, thank you guys for your information. We appreciate what you do.
All right, sir.
All right, you too. Thanks.
731 area code. You are on. (731) area code. Okay, 214 area code. You are on.
Good afternoon. Good morning. How are you guys?
Good afternoon. I am fantabulous.
Super fantastic.
To the nth degree.
So am I. Okay, I have some questions about Iraq, but now I have questions about trust. They brought some things up for me. My question is, if the grantor passes away, does the beneficiary have to pay taxes on that money?
When the grantor passes away, the beneficiary gets jack.
The beneficiary doesn't get anything.
Correct.
Okay, so how do you will that money?
You don't. You don't will anything. When the grantor put it in trust and gave it away, either he did it irrevocably or revocably. But there's nothing to will away. The beneficiary gets nothing when the grantor dies. That wasn't the purpose for that. So you have to learn the purpose for the tool and what it serves, and then look at strategic maneuvers on how you want to use it in your portfolio.
Money just disappeared.
No, it doesn't disappear. The trust owns the money.
Okay.
And just because the grantor died doesn't mean the trust will now give the money to the beneficiary. That wasn't the reason that it was created. If that's what the grantor wanted, then the grantor would have just held on to it personally and then let it go to the beneficiary when they died.
Okay.
See, you're missing the dynamic of the whole purpose that it exists.
Well,
and you're trying to connect ownership activity with controller activity, and they're not the same.
Okay, I'm just trying to figure out. Okay, I understand it's to hide your assets and not to be sued and all of that.
It is not to hide any assets because you're not hiding anything. So you guys are saying the wrong things and you have the wrong ideas, and you're going to go about doing things the wrong way because you're thinking wrong. It's not about hiding any assets. You're not hiding anything. You're not going to own it.
Right.
What you own belongs to the plaintiff and the plaintiff's attorney. Somebody's going to sue your butt. They're going to sue you for what you own. If you don't own it, they can't get it. See, that's not hiding it. It's called not owning it. So we're not doing this to hide things. You're doing it to not own it so that if you're in a lawsuit, no one can take it from you. That's one of the reasons. But that's just one reason for living in trust. There's, 5 or 6 other reasons you all would want to do this when you learn and understand what this tool is capable of doing for your life. Not only your life, but for those who come behind you. You guys are only hearing bits and pieces of it on these different types of conference calls, just enough to wet your lips and make you lick your tongue, lick your lips or whatever, but it's a whole lot more than that. And you guys need to learn that from somebody, not necessarily from me, but from somebody. Most of you won't learn it until post-RV because you don't want to pay for that type of an education when you don't have any money. But once you have money, you don't mind paying for that type of education. And it's going to be a good education, and it's going to be an eye-opening education for quite a few of you.
So if I want to make sure that my son has funds, I should gift him so much money and let him put money into the IMF fund the same way and do what he needs to do. No.
No, you should LEARN. Learn the tools and the information. Then you can implement the strategies that you're trying to implement. You have too many broken pieces for what you're trying to do. And a 5-minute telephone conversation would not suffice.
So when are you coming to Dallas again?
There'll be a session post-RV. There'll be a session post-RV.
Right. Okay.
But I understand what you're trying to do, but you really can't draw your conclusions right now because you're missing some key things.
Right.
Okay. So if the grantor passes away in the trust, how do we get a new grantor? Who's in charge of the trust?
The trustees are, and you need to go to class too.
I'm asking the question. I'm asking the question that she wants the answer to, so she can get the right answer. Her question is, who gets that money afterward? Who controls that after he passes away?
All right.
Because it only lasts for so many years after the grantor dies.
Okay, let me put it in this context. Tony, you give me some money. You say, Ray, I want you to hold on to this money and give it to my son later on. And you're going to give me some stipulations on how to go about doing it. And, okay, good. Now, you pass away. That doesn't mean your son gets any money. What was our arrangement? You entrusted me to watch over something for a specified time based on some instructions you gave me. And you passing doesn't mean that money goes to your son because you gave the money to me. And so basically, I'm treating it like it's my money because I'm in charge of it, and I'm going to follow the instructions you gave me. That wasn't one of the instructions to give it to him when you pass.
Look, I know, but the question is, what happens when you pass away? That's the question.
Oh, see, you're changing it now. But whatever happens when I pass away, whoever I select as a successor trustee will take over and carry through the obligation, whatever the obligation was. Whoever's next in charge.
That won't last forever.
That's what she's trying to ask me.
And this is why I said you can't learn this in 5 minutes because you've turned one question into 4 questions already.
Okay.
Really, guys. You're asking, each question was a new question. If you go back and listen to yourselves, you asked me a new question after I answered it, which created a new question, which is going to create yet another new question until you get a full understanding of these tools and how they work and what they're designed to do. And a 5-minute phone call just won't do it.
I understand.
It's not fair to you.
It's not. I understood that. Okay, my question to Tony. The ministers, Tish sent me a great article about them possibly putting a female in the minister.
About what?
The minister in Iraq, the interior position, they may put a female who's her sister is from Lebanon and she's from Lebanon. Is that something that we're waiting on?
I don't know that we're waiting on it, and I don't know if it makes a difference. So far they're going to put her in there. They're going to put Maliki in. They have an agreement. They're still working on one, and all this is supposed to happen the first week in March when they go back. They're going to make it happen instead of dragging it out to June the 30th. That's why a bunch of people think we're not going to see the RV until after those ministers are announced. Is what some people think. And people over there. And even, what my guy could have been saying this morning. So in order for that to happen, what we were talking about earlier, I think they would have to change the tariff day, which they could do. They can get right up to it and change it to them. March the 17th or whatever, but I can't see the two working together. The tariffs and that, nobody can afford it, and they'd have to wait a month, to do the RV. So, is that legal? Do they have to have it? No. They've never had to have the ministers. They just want to have them. The U.S. wanted to have them. IMF wanted to have them so they would know who's going to be in charge of this money. If everybody's telling us an agreement and she's going to get the position, then hopefully we don't have to wait to see it. I don't think so.
I hope not. All right, thank you, both of you guys, and I guess I'll see you, Ray, in Dallas.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, have a great day. All right.
You too.
323 area code. You are on.
Michael's not up.
323.
Tell him to get up. Tell him to get up. Tell him it's time to get up. You can't live around sleeping all day. Tell him to get up.
323.
Get up.
Where he at, Chico? Michael.
All right, bye, Michael. Bye, Michael. 240 area code. You are on. 240.
Ray?
Yes?
Hey.
How you doing, guys?
Good morning.
All right.
Good.
Almost cut you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was on my phone and I didn't hear the beep to let me know that I was up next. My bad. Got a question about this statement that the people at the top said a few weeks ago. We better do this on Tuesday before he gets his fingers in it. What happened to that?
I don't know what happened to it because he didn't say it this morning. I guess I should have stuck his fingers in it, huh? Well, I better not say that.
No, don't say that. No, don't say that.
Yeah.
No, I say that.
They are doing a conference call this evening, which he said he would get back to us after they have their conference call this evening. So we'll see.
Interesting. I'm curious because if the IMF is pleased with the pace of this rollout, then that implies that there's a body of knowledge about the mechanics of this that we don't have or aren't privy to that would explain the why. And I find that most people, myself included, have a difficult time coping with something when we don't understand the why. And this constant tomorrow game, from our perspective, as I'm sure you can appreciate because you're a little closer to it than we are, it's a drain. It's exhausting.
I'm laughing with you, not at you. I'm laughing with you. Then, right, you don't have to tell me. I go through it 30, 40 times a day. Phone calls, questions, texts, everything. Every day I go through it. So, yes, it is. But that's how they want it to be. You know why? Only the strong survive. That's why. You hang in there and you go and you see the reward, or you fall by the wayside. And that's people who sold theirs, quit, whatever, and they'll hate it. We can't know the plan. And I go through this 10 times a day with different people. If we knew the plan, if you actually knew the plan, and this is the day, would you not tell everybody in your family, I 100% guarantee you, this is when it's going to happen? Will we not have, instead of 8 million or 30 million people with Dinar, it'd be 100 million people with Dinar, which would what? Dilute the whole thing and make it worthless, and they wouldn't even be able to do it. So there is no way they could have me and you actually knowing the plan. They can get us close, and they can get the pieces done. And remember, again, guys, it's been 10 years, but we were never part of this anyway. We were never supposed to know about any of this. It was their select group, and the rich were supposed to get richer, not us. It was never designed for us. And even though we did what we did, they were still trying to take away from us. It was part of it from the start. You just weren't supposed to know about it.
Okay.
That's
well, I certainly am not trying to. I certainly am not trying to poop in the punch bowl. I promise you that. you know, it's
okay.
like I said, it's just frustrating because, you know, the expectation postponed makes the heart grow hard. You know, so. Well, I appreciate what you guys are doing. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see, 978 area code. You're on.
Well, good morning, Ray. How are you? Oh,
hey,
good
I
afternoon,
am.
Ray. Excuse me. Good afternoon, Ray. I'm in the wrong time zone. So sorry.
Okay. I'm fantabulous to the nth degree.
And good afternoon, Tony. How are you?
You're still in the wrong time zone, but I'm super fantastic.
I mean, good morning. I got you both down. I'm just so excited. That's the problem. I'm just so excited to be on. I've been waiting to talk to you guys for a few weeks. Well, this is Vanessa calling from rainy Florida, and I am sad that this did not happen before Super Bowl 53 because, as you know, Tony, I wanted to be there to see the New England Patriots get ring number 6, but I'm still wicked awesome, as we would say in Boston, because we did get it. And I am actually encouraged by the fact that the next 2 Super Bowls are in Miami and Tampa, and it certainly will have completed our RV by then in time for my Dirty Dozen group of people to get some tickets to see possibly history made with Ring 7. So I'm looking forward to that. That's what I'm going to look forward to. So there are 3 reasons I know this will happen before President's Day, and I just want to share them with you. First of all, Mercury, the planet Mercury. I know people have mentioned this in the past. The planet Mercury goes retrograde in its orbit a few times a year and wreaks havoc on technical things and meetings and appointments and signing legal documents and contracts, and it goes retrograde March 5th through the 28th, so we want to stay far away from that. So 3-1, everybody wants to be, getting their trusts and their paperwork in alignment by the 1st of March, so you don't end up having to buy a house or a car or sign a legal document with the bank or a trust in a Mercury retrograde. That could be very bad. So we have to do that this month. The second reason is a little bit more esoteric. My odometer on my car was approaching 188,888 miles the other day during your call, and I actually texted Ray pictures of my dashboard when the actual mileage hit 188,888 on the call. And I looked that up in numerological terms, and it means some good things. The number 8 is very good for financial reasons. So I'll just share with you that it is often associated with wealth, abundance, and power. Multiply that 4 times, and you have something that can impact your life and the way you live. If you want to know the meaning of the number 8888, it represents abundance, wealth, and financial stability. It signifies money, good fortune, and windfall. And I had 5 8s on my dashboard during your call, so that multiplies it even more. So that's pretty cool. And the bigger reason that I think it's going to happen is a little more personal. My prediction is for this Friday, 2/15/2019. Back in February of 1989, on the 15th of February, my mother filled out a lottery ticket in the state of Massachusetts and left her glasses home, and she marked the wrong numbers, and she won $4.5 million on the 15th of February, 30 years ago. The Lord and my dad in heaven blessed us with that money, and she is now 96 and a half years old and is in a skilled nursing. She just got out of the hospital here in Florida. That's why I'm here trying to take care of her. And she is now eating up the remainder of that money in healthcare costs. So I predict this will happen on the 30th anniversary of my mom, Josephine's good fortune, and that will hopefully allow me to turn around and take care of her, to repay her for all the kindness that she has shown me through my lifetime. And I believe that that's when it will happen. So I'm putting that energy out there.
Let me tell you this. Put it out there. It's good. I absolutely hope that you're right. That would be a great day for it to happen sooner or later. Now, I don't like you talking about the 28th of March as a bad day, because that's my birthday. And I think everybody should buy everything they want on my birthday. So you could have went to the 27th, but you went one day too far with that. And trust me, the last thing in the world I would ever want to see is the New England Patriots win a 7th Super Bowl. So we can scratch that too. Okay?
All right. Well, all right. Make a trade-off. I'll speak to the planetary alignment of Mercury and see if we can get it to finish its orbit and go back direct on the 27th. I do have some pull out there, so maybe that'll work. I just want to close with two final things. I am envisioning that Las Vegas party being in mid-March, and I told Ray in the past I wanted to hear the entire version of that Earth, Wind, and Fire song he plays in the intro, which is called In the Stone. It's a really wonderful song. I jump around the kitchen every time you play it. And ironically, Earth, Wind, and Fire is going to be already doing a series of shows at the Venetian Hotel in Vegas in mid-March. So that would be perfect. And if we're a little bit off, I might just want to hire them and bring them to your party so they could play for us. So I would hope that that's something that's a possibility. And the final thing I'll leave you with is I would like to put waterboarding CIA lady and that lady who wants to adopt the crazy double secret Dinar handshake in a room together and see who comes out alive. And that is how I will leave you today. Oh, no, I have a question. My question. I just couldn't resist saying that because the two of them, I don't think can hit it off. Anyway, one thing, I am traveling for a funeral on Friday, and I'm worried about. I have a driver's license in both Mass and Florida, and I'm worried about traveling with the currency. Should this not go on my mother's 30th anniversary of the lottery, I've got to be up in Mass for 4 days. Should I be taking this with me, and if so, how would you travel with it? Just all the receipts, have all the receipts with me, and have all of that in order, and put it in my carry-on?
You're flying?
Yeah, I'm actually going to Boston for
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I would definitely, I wouldn't take it all with me anyway.
You wouldn't?
Out of town like that. I would not, no. I'd take enough that if I wanted to go exchange some and then make my appointment and come back home and take care of my business. That's what I would do. I wouldn't be trying to do business out of town like that.
Well, my permanent residency is Massachusetts. That's where I'm going, to where I actually live. And I do, like I said, have banking there, but there's not a lot of Wells Fargos there. We'd have to drive to Connecticut for a Wells Fargo. I think we have HSBC, and I do have Zim, so I would probably opt to do that. But as I said, I've got a couple small bills of Dong and Dinar that I could just walk to the teller and get, a six-figure amount of money to have to use for my trip and to get back home. But I don't want to miss the contract rate potentially on the Dinar. So I would kind of wonder, should I take my Dinar with me and try to get a bank appointment early next week in my town or, in Mass?
I would.
And get that
I'd
contract.
take enough money that I could travel with, because you can always come back, because now you're rich, you got money, you can charter a plane, you don't even have to stand in line after that anymore, and you fly and do whatever you want to do, with no restrictions. So
I appreciate you.
You got to be careful traveling with money, large sums of money. I think I sent it to you guys a couple days ago. Now law enforcement can just pull you over. Any reason.
Mm-hmm.
They pull you over. They search your car. You got all this money in your car, and they take it. They can take it. You have to prove how you got it to get it back. Now, whether it's U.S. dollars, foreign currency, or anything. So you need to be careful carrying large sums of money, not just in your car, but sometimes in your pocket.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I thought that would be, I heard stories about people being pulled over by law enforcement with U.S. money, like cash, to buy a house or whatever, and obviously that looks shady. It looks like it could be, drug money. But if I'm carrying foreign currency where I have receipts for the purchase of it, how isn't that a little bit different that I have receipts for the purchase and it is not U.S. currency? It's not it's pre-valuation foreign currency that's pretty much not worth anything?
I don't know that it's different at all because it's currency. They don't know what it's worth. It's money. Let's take it and then let's go find out because they can do that. And you
Okay.
still have to be careful when doing it. Now, I don't actually hear about it in the airports as much as in certain states driving up and down the highways or in the streets when you get stopped.
Oh, absolutely. I have heard of that. Well, God bless you both. I look forward to the financial seminar after this, Ray. I will have to say I have to defer on, or I disagree on the North Carolina barbecue. I did go to Parker's. I called Ray when I was driving through North Carolina. He did send me to Parker's. I couldn't meet with him that day. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of that North Carolina. I guess I'm a Memphis or a Tennessee kind of barbecue girl, but I will partake again just in your honor because you guys are just so awesome. I've learned so much from you over the months since May, and I am a newbie, but I feel so grateful and blessed to have met you and been put in touch with your call to you and your family.
Okay, so you like barbecue with barbecue sauce?
Yep, dry rub or sauce. Yep.
Yeah, see, that's not real barbecue. That's barbecue sauce poured on some meat. In North Carolina, they have barbecue. Okay, it's the meat itself. Okay? You don't need sauce for real barbecue because it's vinegar based and it's a good barbecue. The rest of that, you guys just cover it up with who makes the best sauce, not who makes the best barbecue. That's the difference.
True that. Well, I want to be invited to the
Okay.
All righty.
Yeah, we
God bless.
be sure and get all y'all out there and chase them down. Okay. Have a good day.
You too, guys.
Okay, bye-bye. 503, you are on.
Hi, guys.
Hey there.
I have a couple of questions. First, with respect to the banks that have had people coming in recent weeks, have they been making those exchanges at their own risk, or are they provided a place where they can turn around and sell that currency, or are they doing it just totally on their own?
Are they doing it on their own, or are they exchanging it with the Treasury? Because that's the only place they can exchange it.
Right.
With the Treasury is your question.
Right.
It requires an authorization number from the Treasury, so I would think that's where they would be exchanging.
Do they have that authorization to go ahead with the Treasury to do those exchanges?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They have to have an authorization number to do those from the Treasury, so I would think they'd be exchanging it from the Treasury. Banks just don't take those kind of chances on their own. They're not going to say, let me pick 100 people and go ahead and give them this money, not knowing that it's not guaranteed somewhere to them. Now, the Treasury can take that chance.
Sure, that would seem, though, to open the door to, potential corruption if you have a limited opportunity to exchange, yet anybody can still buy at the program rate. So these guys have a back door. The banks have a back door, and if somebody's going to screw with the system, they would seem to have the opportunity.
Okay. I know you want me to tell you something other than that, but that's reality.
Sure.
It happens every day. That's what they do. Yeah. So the fact of the matter is, yeah, they're doing things and they're putting it on the books and they're saying when it's done, nobody will care. Nobody will backdate. We'll backdate it. It'll be authorized. But right now, this lets us do what we want to do. Slowly fill the coffers up, move some money around and see how this thing is going to work. And pick, just like they said, they don't want mindless millionaires or billionaires. Well, we're deciding right now. We're going through people's accounts and people we know, and we're going to do that and put them in first. And I know we want to do something about it. And I know you guys are texting and nobody liked it, that they're able to do that. They're doing it because of just like when they did it 10 years ago, 4 years ago. They're saying we're just doing it 2 weeks before we actually let everybody else know, so it's no big deal. We're just a week ahead of everybody else, so it's no big deal. And then it gets stretched out to 2 months, and it's no big deal. I mean, that's the justification they're using right now to get it done.
Okay. And then one other question. I know that you haven't yet been provided specifics with respect to the 800 number, but if an 800 number does come out, who do you envision is operating that call-in system? I assume it's not the banks if you're going to be given an opportunity to choose which bank you want to exchange at. Is that correct?
Again, our information is being operated by the Treasury.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. Well, those answer
just for those same reasons. You pick and choose and do everything. It had to be something fair to everybody.
Sure.
My information, all the numbers will come from the Treasury.
Okay.
They're in charge of the numbers. Okay.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I thank you. Thank you both.
Okay.
Those answer my questions.
Alrighty. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
504 area code. You are on. 504.
Yes, Ray. This is Joe. I was calling how you doing, Tony and Ray?
Okay.
I'm super fantastic.
Yes, sir. To the nth degree.
All right. Good. I was calling about your trust. Ray, you can answer a question for me. What kind of time does it take to create a trust?
Well, depending on your service provider, they can have it up and running for you in a few days.
A few days? All right. You don't know anything about a trust, and you're trying to get it started. If I wanted to get it started real quick, what about a revocable trust until you learn what the trust can do?
Okay.
How would that work?
I don't see the purpose for it, but yeah. I guess if you feel like you've got to get one, revocable would be best, because then once you learn the mistakes you made, you can revoke it and start over.
All right. So it would be best if I did do a revocable trust until I get straight on everything that I need to do in the trust. And
well, it would be best and least expensive to just wait and learn and then do what you want to do from the very beginning once you learn the right way to do it. Just because you can do a revocable trust and change your mind, you got to pay somebody for that. So that could be a waste of money. What's the rush that you got to hurry up and get into a trust, especially when you don't know all of what you want?
Okay. I just wanted to get straight on that question there.
All right.
All right. Thank you much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you all.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. You too.
All right.
303 area code. You are on.
Yes, I have a couple questions for you. A good day to both of you. I hope your days are going as fantastic as they are here in Colorado.
Yes, sir.
First question is, Ray, do you still remember the number that you did through Blog Talk Radio for your information on ways to understand the purposes and the different types of trust to set up? I listened to your trust information some time ago, and I'd sure like to go back and review it. I just finished reviewing the foundation call, and it was on the 641 number group.
Yeah, that's the only one. Yeah, that's the only recorded one.
You didn't do one on
out there.
Okay, you didn't do one on trust?
No.
Okay.
Not that's been out there. I have some archives, but they haven't been put out that people can just pull them up and listen to them.
Oh, well, I'm ashamed. That call was absolutely fantastic and very useful. I have talked to a few people since then, and they worry about with the foundation, the reporting processes and information that's required for the IRS on those. So it certainly
there's nothing to worry about, though. Don't listen to those people. Don't know what they're talking about. There's nothing to worry about, guys. When you get your private family foundation, there's about 5 major things that you don't do. And as long as you don't do those 5 major things, it's going to be a piece of cake for you. Regardless of what people tell you about red flags and audits and all that stuff, just follow the rules. You can't lose.
Okay, that makes total sense.
Somebody's hearing a lot of noise in the background.
I'm sorry. Was feeding my bunnies. I'm going to assume that I'll have staff to handle that anyway.
Sure, you could. Yes, they can help you. They can help you walk a straight and narrow.
Well, that's always the design. Now we've been talking a lot about trust on this call today. I was the executor for a trust that my parents had, which was a living trust, and I executed their desires and whatnot through the execution as their executor. But cannot trust. People were worried about what would happen to the money and all that. In the setup of your trust, wouldn't you naturally have successor trustees appointed previously in the setup of that trust so that if you, as the grantor, did pass, that those successor trustees would handle that transition to continue the benefits going out?
Okay, you're confusing it also. Once a trust is successfully established, the grantor has nothing else to do with it. They drop dead, they just drop dead. That's life. But and plus, a living trust is entirely different than the type of trust that most of these folks are asking about. Okay. So the one that you were the executor over, that one operated a little bit differently because its purpose was to avoid probate. It wasn't to give asset protection. Folks are trying to get asset protection. A living trust is not the tool for that. It's only for probate avoidance. So it's a different trust that operates differently.
Can that trust then, the different trust that's for asset protection, also have set up within it the protection of the say that the trustee appointed, would it not have successor trustees in it so that whatever you plan to do with that trust would continue in perpetuity?
Definitely. But that has nothing to do with the grantor.
Okay.
And that's the trustee having a successor trustee that will keep it going in that fashion.
Okay. Now, the grantor for a trustee does not necessarily get a tax write-off for that as they do with a foundation?
No, they do not.
Okay. Well, I had one more question for you, but at my age, I can't remember what it is. So I'll hold it for Friday's call.
All right, sir.
Thanks for your help.
All right, thank you, sir.
Take care. 610 area code. You are on.
Hey, good afternoon, Ray, and good morning, Tony. It's G-Man in PA.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Doing super fantastic, and it's another dynamite day here in the USA, ladies and gentlemen. And for all of you currency holders who are new to the call and all of you who didn't know, all these calls and all the means of communication that Ray and Tony use to keep us informed need to be paid for. And it's up to all of us out here in the currency community to make donations in order to help pay for these calls. You can help by going to www.TNTSUPERFANTASTIC.com, clicking on that red donate button, and when you do, the name and address will come up to where you can send your check or money order made payable to Raymond Renfrow, P.O. Box 1748, Elm City, that's just like the tree, Elm City, North Carolina, 27822. And for those of you who would like to donate electronically, the Cash App is available on the donation page. And if you are already familiar with and utilizing the Cash App, you can go to $TNT SuperFantastic, and you'll be able to make your donation electronically. Remember to do it today, ladies and gentlemen. You'll be very, very glad you did. And again, Tony and Ray, thank you for all you continue to do for us out here in the currency community. Thank you to both of your families for sharing you with us. Thank you to those 13 task force members still out there, making sure that the bankers and meeting facilities will be available for us post-RV. And I'll close out with Vegas, Vegas, Vegas. Verification, negotiation, diversification, protect your principal, and rally, 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 so I can come join you and enjoy some of that good home-style North Carolina barbecue. Thank you, gentlemen. Make it a dynamite day.
All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
You're welcome, Tony.
All right. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, Ray.
Okay. 404. You're next.
Hi, Ray. And Tony, I appreciate your taking my call. And
well, good morning. How are you?
Hanging in there. It's day by day. I was curious to know the fact of there have been a couple of calls, questions on this call with respect to the 800 numbers and that sort of thing. Are your folks saying, I keep harkening back to this thing of the algorithms and everything else, and that's what's going to be triggering all of this and in turn lead to the 800 numbers, but then again, maybe not. I was curious if they are even going back to the old days of those types of, protocols.
I'm hearing nothing about the algorithms or anything else as far as the numbers, as far as when the system's going to be ready to go or any of that. They said the actual rate have been sitting on the bank screen for almost 2 weeks now live, and it's not gone anywhere. It's not going up and down. We're not getting the red, green, and yellows that they were getting or anything else. The system is in place and ready to go. Somebody just needs to say go.
Okay. You had also made some references about muddying the water, trying to keep everyone a little bit off guard and the like. They seem to be very adept at that. What I have found interesting there, of course, I'm one that likes to watch what the Prime Minister says or does not say on his website. And his website was down for a while. And, of course, my rose-colored glasses had been saying there's something going on there. Well, it has come back up, but one of the articles that was included in that, and it's a Dateline today, is talking about, and I was wondering whether or not your folks have shared this with you on it, is that the Prime Minister had a meeting sometime today with a large delegation of Iraqi investors, businessmen, in support of their contribution of the private sector to expand the economic activity and the challenges that they would be facing. And the pictures that are accompanying it, looks like there are 20 to 25 people that are there meeting with Mahdi. And, of course, part of me is thinking if they are starting to really pull together the folks like this, are we not on the verge of things really exploding over there? And, have your folks had a chance to discuss that with you?
We did not discuss that this morning or yesterday, but we know the date is March the 1st when they wanted to get started. So these are the meetings and things they should be doing, building up to this, getting their commitments, making sure all the documents are where they need to be. So I'm not surprised that they're having these kind of meetings.
Well, at least it's surfacing now so the John Q. public can see it. And thank heavens for Google Translate or any of the other translating things, because a lot of times these things are only showing up in Arabic, and we've got to go through a couple of different steps to finally find out what it is that they're actually saying. And lastly, there was a reference by one of the prior callers, something about putting the CIA lady in with another person and wanting to know who would come out alive. And I'm curious, I didn't quite catch all of that because I'm wanting to know.
This is what she said. She would like to put you in a room with the lady who came up with the TNT hand signal. Did you remember that on the last call? How to do the TNT hand signal? So anybody said we should have a hand signal, and I said yes. I always wanted my own gang signal. So TNT, and she explained to us how to do it and why we should do it and she wanted to put the two of you together and see who came out.
Okay.
And you want to
so
know why? What they got to do with me?
Yeah, because I was going to say I have a 50-50 chance of not coming out. So, I mean, you know, that's like, what did I hear on that? Because the last call, I must admit that my reception was going in and out, so I missed some of the idiosyncrasies of that. So I will go back and listen to that to try to put things into perspective and the like. Interesting.
I
Thank
guess
you
because,
for that.
you know, you both are, you know, super secret hand signal, super secret CIA information, and she wanted the two of y'all to
No,
go
this is
together.
a mind game. This is a mind game. You know, the hand signals and that sort of thing. No, this is a mind game, and they're playing tricks on us on that, trying to keep us going on that. So, and I guess.
Well, this is what I would like to know, and everybody would like to know is, how do you pick which phone you're going to call from every day? How do you decide which area code it is?
Dartboard. Yeah.
Dartboard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
She can't disclose that type of information.
I was going to say, you're asking for top secret information here, and you know I keep looking out my window for those black SUVs. So you know, I can't know all things and the like. So just suffice to say that we're keeping the phone company in business, whoever that phone company might be.
That's right. Okay.
And Friday's call, somebody asked you about Friday's call. What's your estimate in terms of the likelihood of there actually being a Friday call of a pre-RV nature?
I don't know. They're trying to put out some junk this morning that doesn't really make sense. Again, if they're actually going to do the tariffs and the taxes. So we'll know Thursday if they change the date or not. But we're going to have a call on Friday.
Good enough.
The bank is really still quiet, though. The banks aren't saying anything yesterday, today, at all, and we know they were ready to go and put people in position. So we'll see if something happens or not. Okay?
And are you asking them the same questions when you talk with your bank people, and they just don't even answer you at this point? Or, you know, how are you telling us that they are?
This is what I ask. I always, because I send them texts or messages and they don't respond. But I still ask, can you still see the rates? Because that's what they say. What are the rates? What kind of information are you getting? Are you guys still on high alert? Has the window changed? And I ask all those questions, and I ask them from 3 or 4 different banks. Everybody was excited over the weekend. Every bank was excited over the weekend, I can tell you that. Expected us to be at the bank yesterday.
Okay.
I think they all expected us to be there yesterday. Tuesday is what I was hearing from everybody. Now, there's another possibility. There's a 48-hour window that we haven't gotten to yet, and we'll see what happens.
Good enough. Well, we know that the Iraqis are always kind of slow and the like, so maybe they think tomorrow it starts with a T, and they thought, you know, Thursday is our Tuesday or something. Who knows? But 10 days from whenever, you will tell us the official TNT Superfantastic or Pay It Forward project date. But we know that it's going to be 10 days plus or minus from whenever all of this starts. And that's what we're looking forward to. And we appreciate all your info. And I'm going to go back and listen to the call from a couple of days ago. Find out if I'll be 50-50, yes or no.
50-50, all right.
Thanks,
all right, thank you.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. 816, you are on.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
I wasn't sure you were hearing me there. Hey, I'm sure many people just realized that they can lose that 17 to 25% of their money due to the spread fee. Did the people you know who have exchanged pay that spread fee, or were they given the actual rate or something close to it?
Okay. Again, that's not a fee. That's just a spread.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean fee, but the spread cost, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
Anytime
You
I
really
use the
want to
word,
know, did they get the sell rate or the buy rate? Which rate was their exchange rate is what you're asking.
yes, right.
Okay. I will ask them next time because I have. Well, actually, he did tell me they got the 443 is the rate that he got during his exchange. So he got the actual rate. So unless it was higher, that's what his exchange rate was, 443. Or he would have told me it was different.
How do you think he went about getting that then? If the banks are telling us there's going to be this large spread between the buy and sell.
Now, the banks aren't telling us. That's just normal business right now. And all we've talked about was the exchange fee. You know, we didn't talk about the rate we're going to get doing this special transaction or doing this special deal. And they could have set it up like that. Because every transaction I've known has been going through with the rate that's on the bank screen. And it has been that buy rate, not the sell rate. And maybe during this transaction, because they are buying it from us and selling it to the government at a higher rate already, this may work a little bit different. I will ask that question.
I think it would be, we keep talking about adjusting our plans, having A, B, and C, and even more. And it's hard to really do that if we don't have that kind of specific information. I was operating under the assumption that when you said 440, 443, that would be the actual rate that we would be getting. But then, the buy-sell spread came up when I went to the bank last week. So it was confusing, and it made me think, well, now I need to follow Tony's advice and go out and buy more in order to compensate for that.
Okay, that is true. But I will try to get that from them next time we ask the rates, first of all, so we can clarify that. Is that the buy or sell rate? And then I will try to go back and make sure what rate he got during his transaction. Well, I already know what rate he got, 443, but I don't know what was on the board when he went in there, because it could have been higher, and that's what it came out. So I'll try to find out.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. You had talked about the people who had gone in, and the one guy in particular who said to put 0 into the computer, and it took it, so he didn't pay a lot of fee or spread or whatever. And they also
now that was a fee. That's different. That was a fee. He put 0 in, so he didn't have to pay the fee. I don't know if he paid. What the spread was. Those are two different things we're talking about.
Okay. But they also relented and gave him a part of their 22% overnight profits, didn't they?
Well, he did something. And I don't know, banks get 1% from the SWIFT accounts, and they get other ones when they, loan your money out 10 times that day, and now they made money on that. And then each one of those is a different account they're depositing, and they're getting 1% on those, and they're not losing any money.
I'm sorry, my dogs are seeing a squirrel out here. Well, let's just say you go to the bank and all of a sudden they want to charge you for the spread at the time of the exchange, that they're not being real gracious. Then what is it that you would say or do to try to get them to relent on that?
Well, first of all, how much I have, how much am I going to leave here in the bank? We need to raise the rate for that. How long I'm going to leave it here in the bank? We need to raise the rate for that. What you can do with it, how risky investments, we need to raise the rate for that. So we're going to negotiate till we get to they say, okay, we'll give you that rate. And we'll give you this interest because I'm going to make a whole lot more off you than I thought, because you're letting me lock this much up for 5 years, and I'm going to give that out 1,000 times as new money. Then let's make a deal.
I agree with that. One more topic then. If the committee guy, and I think you said even a Pentagon guy, said that the ZIM is not going to go this time, but the banks say they still are willing to try to exchange it. Why is it that the banks can't get a real final answer on that, on exchanging the 2008 AA ZIM?
I don't know why it is, and that's why we've been talking to both of them. I know I got it from the Treasury. I do know that years ago. I know the bank says that they're going to take it. Yes, I know things have changed under the end of Obama and this administration as far as Zimbabwe goes, but we just don't know what's finalized. And now it may even end up in court before it is finalized somewhere. So don't throw your ZIM notes away.
Right. I've been following that advice too. I just don't know why, if the banks are aware that there is a controversy over this, that they aren't talking directly to the Treasury, or that we don't know that if they are or not, and that it's not filtering down to the people who will be doing the actual exchange, so that there would be some certainty. Yes, you will be exchanging the 2008 100 trillion, 50 trillion notes, or no, you won't.
Because I think there isn't any certainty yet. I don't think the final has been made. They're not going to go back and forth and down there. Just leave things like they are until it's concluded. Again, we're getting information that we shouldn't even have because we're getting it from so high up. The bank is just doing what's in their system. When we're talking to bankers, branch managers, or regional guys, they're reading what's on the screen. And that was put in the system years ago when this was supposed to go, and it's maintained. They're not going to take it out every time they renegotiate a rate or price or, wipe the whole system out. When they finally come to a final answer, that's when you either take it out or you go. And the bank's not going to know until that happens.
I think you told us before, well, I'm sure it was before Christmas, that the committee guy said if it didn't go by the end of December, then it wasn't going to go in the first basket. And that's why I'm thinking now we're almost a month and a half later. Surely, somebody, either they're renegotiating currently behind the scenes, and maybe that's why we don't know, or somebody does know, but they're not asking the right question, and I'm talking about the bank not asking, the Treasury, will we or will we not? So do you think they're still negotiating now, or was that dropped and they'll just take it to court and it may be 6 months or a year?
Okay. D.C. is saying, as we got from our committee guys, that it is not going. They're saying it's not going. They are still saying that it's still being negotiated, though, and can go later. The bank is saying nobody has told them, and they're going to pay on it. So I don't know why there's that disconnect. Again, unless because it is still being negotiated, again, they're not going to change it until this goes live. So nothing we can do about it. I mean, I can't go call, Jamie Dimon and say, hey, how come I know this and you don't know it? How come you haven't changed the system yet? How come? I can't do that. All I can do is do what I'm doing. Talk to the committee. He talks to them. They relay information back to me. And they say the banks are going to be informed. The banks are saying we haven't been informed yet, though. So, I don't know.
Yeah, it's real frustrating for you guys. I know Tony and Ray, both of you, because we are trying to get specific answers and you're trying to give us specifics. And there is that disconnect, at least on the ZIM. But I think you've cleared up, some of the other things for us. And over time, we've certainly learned a lot. And we do thank you for all that you've done.
All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank
you, sir.
Thanks, Ray.
All right. Have a good day.
Yep.
All right, sir. It's wrap-up time.
Oh, that's it? All right. Okay, guys. all we can do is keep getting the information, putting the pieces of the puzzle together, and it will sooner or later come to a conclusion to show who it really is, what's really going on, and we'll be able to enjoy life. So just stay strong. We know it's going. We know the history of not only Kuwait and Germany and China and everybody else, what they've gone through after every war where the U.S. is going. We know this has happened. We know how it's happened. All we got to do is wait for it to happen. That's all. And in the meantime, if you want to feel really, really good about it while we're waiting, just get some more. Hey, man, I cannot believe they let me make another $1 million this week. That's what I do. I can't believe it. They let me make another $1 million before they did this. I'm loving them. I want them to do it, but every week they don't. Just go pick up another $1 million. Make yourself another $500,000 to $1 million and reap the benefit. I can't make them do it. I can't control when they do it, so I might as well benefit from them not doing it. Do that, it'll make your whole day better. All right? Something happens, we'll tweet it out. We'll put it in the forum. We'll let you know as soon as we know. Enjoy the rest of your day. Ray?